Mike, day one of preseason, how much different is this to this time last year in terms of sort of the chaos that preceded preseason?
Yeah, probably 100% different. I mean, it's I kind of know where I'm going. I kind of know the city of Adelaide. I kind of know how things work. I mean, last year it was kind of a whirlwind to hit the ground. Just try to first time I'd been to Adelaide, and you're trying to figure out the team and how things are going, and then obviously becoming the head coach obviously had its challenges as that happened too.
What is the off-season like as a head coach as opposed to as an assistant coach? A lot more recruiting and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we've talked about it a little bit, but since our last game that we played, we systematically, Matt Weston, myself, Grant, and Nick Barbato, set out with a plan to really try to change the entire team and the culture and everything that the Sixers had going. I think we've been, right now pretty successful in what that looks like and where we're at this point. And then now it's time to get on the court and play basketball and really see how it looks.
What are the fundamentals of that culture change?
Well, I think number one was just trying to change the group of players, and we had some really good pieces that we brought back, and DJ and Ice, and obviously Trez is back, and then there's a bunch of guys that we wanted to try to go after, and things change a little bit when Bryce says yes, and that speeds up the process of where we want to go and how we want to change things. But all the other guys that we brought in, starting with Flynn Cameron and bringing back some local guys, and Isaac White and Michael Harris and Matt Kenyon joining us, and then Adams Island was all part of the plan.
How galvanizing is that for the start of a culture change when you lure Bryce Cotton?
Yeah, I think for me personally, knowing the NBL, knowing what the other teams do, what the standard is in this league, how hard everybody plays, and then bringing in guys from other teams, even on my coaching staff with Luke Can and Kerry Williams, that have been with two other organizations. As much knowledge as I can gather from other organizations, how they did it, and now we've got players and where we want to try to go and what we want to build. We'll use every resource we can.
When are you expecting Bryce and also Trez to be?
They'll be in soon. Bryce has got his plan, and he's in constant communication. And then Trez, he's still playing in the big three and screaming in the camera and doing his deal. And when his team loses in the big three, then we'll get him back over here.
In terms of, you mentioned the staff, we say there's been a lot of change. Seemingly every year it feels like there's a new direction, a culture change at 36. There's a lot of that preceding your time. How disruptive is that, and how keen are you to make sure that this isn't a one-season plan?
Yeah, well, I cannot answer for the past. I mean, I know what the history is, but I would say from Grant on down, there's been a systematic plan to really change our culture as a club, and then that includes my coaching staff and my support staff. We've completely redone a lot of different things, and I think that we have the foundation for today, but also there's a plan going forward for year 2, year 3, year 4, and year 5, and where we want to be as a club and how we're going to go about it.
You've come here with a lot of experience, but what did you learn in 1 year as a senior coach on the NBL?
Well, I've said this before, but just how hard of a league this is, number one, how hard everybody plays. There's real game pressure on every possession. I don't think there's a way to kind of get ready for that kind of pressure until you're actually in it. There's how you play on the road is a big deal. And, in a FIBA game with about 82, 83 possessions, there's not a wasted possession. Everything matters, and the point differential matters. And so we'll set our culture and our defense and our offense and everything we talk about to move forward 1% and try to get better every day. And I think we got a really good group, but we'll see where we are at the beginning of the season, the middle of the season, and hopefully at the end.
You speak about that long-term plan on the court this year, having finally gotten back to the finals last year. What's the ceiling?
Well, the long-term plan is more internally for us. That the players don't care about that. That's something that we talk about as we map out how we want this thing to go and how we'll change. But from a player standpoint in the year, the whole focus is on this year, on our ability to get better every day and where we're going right now with this group. That doesn't matter to the players.
Well, considering that and considering the high level, do you think that this is a team that can win a championship?
why would not be at least our goal? I mean, I think that we have to put it on the board. I think every team, I can't imagine a team starting the preseason without the goal of becoming a champion or being the best version of themselves. I mean, that seems like it would be the goal. If that's not the goal, that would be kind of weird. But I think that has to be the standard and the goal, and we're going to try to do everything we can to get there.
Have you gotten to speak to the group as a whole yet, and have you got a sort of a sense of how much bringing someone like Bryce has excited the other players, not necessarily the whole group, but even the other senior players as well?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in constant contact with everybody. We don't have the whole group together yet, but the guys that are here I've spoke to quite a bit. And, yeah, I mean, anytime you bring in a player of Bryce's level, whether it's just from a playing standpoint, leadership standpoint, how he goes about it, he's one of the best to ever play in the league. But like just watching his practice habits, watching how he goes about his daily routine will be good for our group.
I think after one of the games against the Wildcats last year, you likened him, not as obviously ability, but to Michael Jordan in terms of what he means to this league. When you were saying that, did you ever think there was a chance that you'd be able to coach him?
No, I mean, that was, we had some games against Perth where he had his way with us last year on a lot of different things. And that reference was into the point of, great players, when they're on the floor, you could see the look in their eye. Like they know exactly what they're doing, and it's time to win. And he has that look in his eye that he's coming, and there's really not a lot of things you can do about it. And that's what great players do, whether it be Michael, whether it be Kobe, whether it be any of those guys that have, gotten to the highest level and had a measure of success. And that's what I was talking about with Bryce there. And no, it was just out of respect for him and what he was doing and what he's done in his career in the NBL. And then when the things kind of happened that we had a chance to talk on the phone, obviously those things changed. But, I had a little bit of a relationship with him from our time in Utah back in like 2014, year one with Quinn. I know that was a long time ago, but it was fun for me to kind of just reconnect with him. Up at the Blitz is when I first ran into him in the lobby of the hotel and just said hello. And then, you play against him and you just kind of admire what he's done. And, I'm really happy that I don't have to try to defend that anymore.
Are you expecting Dayon to stay on as captain?
I have no idea. I haven't even thought about it. I think that'll be we'll see how the group, one of those things when the group comes together. DJ's always going to be a leadership role no matter what it is, but I got to be honest with you, I haven't thought about it.